Hey team, how are you going? It's Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz. Opal, I see your comment there. If you can use a typewriter, you wouldn't join infantry. I couldn't disagree with you more. You know, I wonder if you'd say that to someone who is in SASR or someone who's in command of more than 30,000 men. They must have been dumb, eh? You probably think Elon Musk is an idiot too. He didn't go to university. Maybe it's a one-off comment. You can keep it, it's okay. You can have your opinion, mate. Here we are. The team, for those who didn't know, for the members, there's actually a video right now that's waiting in members on early release. So if you ever feel like becoming a member, you'll start getting the videos earlier, now that I realise how to do it. I hope you've all had a great time. Tonight is it's a good stream. It's going to be. We've got some questions that might make you think a little bit in depth about yourself. Maybe some things to ponder. Maybe something interesting. I hope so. I'm not sure what's going on with Lauren. I think that she's missing in action at the moment, probably looking after the tribe. But it's great to have you here. Exclusive videos, says Wakies. How do I become a member? Mate, all it is the join button beside the subscribe button. You don't need to. It's nothing particularly crazy about it. It's just a way of supporting the channel so I can keep buying some half-cooked chicken. You know, it's not a cheap venture being a YouTuber. But it's not too bad either, you know. Yeah. So at the moment, Tasmanian Devil is just turning up around now. Okay, or just got to holding platoon reception area for anyone that's known anything about the clinic. And he's about to meet his new brethren. He left his platoon, Kapuka, this morning. He'll never see a vast percentage of those people ever again in his life. G'day, Mohammed. How you going, mate? It is a good background, mate. It's a good background, but yeah, probably not one I'd like to live in for permanently, but some people do, and my hat goes off, and I feel sorry for those. I've seen those areas, and it's I'm not fond. Dylan Kidman, related to Nicole. How you going, mate? Still got the banjo in the back here. It fell over the other day and actually took a chunk out of my wall, so it's like you were taking the piss out of me right there. The background. Are you talking about the... This is called the lady driver, we like to call this. This is what it would happen if you had potentially ladies on the battlefield driving armoured vehicles. But they don't dint, so that's all good. G'day all the moderators and members. I say the same, Carl P. I'm going to be taking up a little bit more of the real estate than you expect tonight on the screen. And we're going to be centred around why 2,567 people, you know, per one person that's in infantry, doesn't understand necessarily why you do it. But all I can say is everyone that does it never regrets it. Despite injury, despite hardship, despite getting tested, failing, getting picked up again and having another go. Not everyone is welcome to do it. It's hard to get in, it's hard to stay in. Consider yourself a professional athlete and you're held highly accountable for your actions. And we're seeing that all over the TV now. Hey, there's MVids, USS Wasp. Good to have you here. How does the Navy salute? I'm actually sure, the same as us, I hope. Hey, the Twitcher, Ryan, the gamer guy. I feel as though this stream has already started. It feels that way, but it starts in 7 seconds.
You don't know what it's like to be
and then we'll be off.
out here for you.
We choose truth over facts.
Never go full retard.
Come on.
Never go full retard. So team, what I want you to do while we're in this stream today, we've said our thank yous, we've said our g'days, got a bit of Cotton Eye Joe on here today, as we think to ourselves, Tassie Devil, okay, are you enjoying life yet? You asked for this. You signed the dotted line, and there you are. And you can be the one tonight, Tassie, or Das, who's about to meet him probably, hold a hand out and say, "G'day, mate, we got out of Kapuka before you, but, okay, you've caught up to us because now he's got the test for session." Now, Kapuka's going to let you down, team, if you're going to infantry in some ways. The standards have dropped, and when the standards have dropped, the capability drops, or it means we have to work harder as instructors to get you over the line. So what happens? Das probably did his another BFA today, basic fitness assessment. And although they don't get tested on a basic fitness assessment at Kapuka as a gate, which they used to, and it used to be twice as hard, he's expected now to pick up the slack and be at the infantry standard tomorrow morning. He'll be tested, and if he's not, this is Tasmanian Devil, up to standard with everyone else, he's going to be either left behind or he's going to go forward, and some of his mates will be left behind to a following session, which means their escape from Alcatraz, Shutter Island, so to speak, will be extended indefinitely until they do meet that standard. So the work you do before you get to Kapuka is the work that will make sure you get out of Singleton quicker. I recommend it. Do the work before you get there, or you'll have to eat the wagon wheel. Mate, you have a great community here, mate. Look at this. Yeah, Ryan. It's a fantastic group here. And tonight, let's consider that everyone, I'm just going to get myself a little bit smaller here so I don't take up as much of the real estate on the screen. Camera. Smaller, Miss Jane. There we go. And that should be about it. There we go. So picture yourself as any one of those people on the screen there. Every single person joined at a different time. Every person is going to stay in for a different time. Everyone's got their life story, the reason why they got in there. They are the one that's up on the screen, okay? And they have 2,567 people, and this is just talking about Australia, that do or do not support them, understand why they do what they do. And let me tell you something else. There's a lot of people in the Australian Army that do not understand why you go to infantry either. Because everyone joins for a different reason. Most people had the chance to join infantry. Most people choose not to. But then they talk tough after they say no to signing the dotted line and go to something else while talking about being infantry when they're in the pub and on Anzac Day. And also on Remembrance Day and all the other days. But that's fine. Everyone be themselves. And it's all good. Nicole King, here you go. Looks like first class. It does look like first class. And Nicole, you probably noticed something there when you look at this. There's one thing missing. All these soldiers that are in this, it looks like a Galaxy. In Australia, you'll get in these. Usually leased by the USA that we use, Starlifters, Galaxies, etc. Is their packs aren't on their lap. Normally when we get in one of these, you're going to have your entire pack that could weigh anywhere up to 50 kilos plus on your lap, squeezing your bladder. You know, and then when you add tack flying to the plane, the fuselage will move around, and you may get a bit of mum and dad spaghetti on your shirt already. You know, and again, that doesn't go down real well either. Oliver, please sir, can I have some more? Joshy Fawns, good to have you here. Thomas the Wyndham, M240 Bravo or MG3? M240 Bravo. Well, I've never had a problem with the 240 Golf, you know. We call that a Mag 58. It's big, it's heavy, the ammunition weighs too much. You know, when you're carrying 800 rounds, it can be distributed, but we prefer it not to be, unless we have a dedicated number 2, which you should have. The Drunk Aussie. So a friend of mine has had her PFA today, and apparently Air Force and Navy don't have to do push-ups for the PFA. How much are they going to keep dropping the standard? They are supposed to do the push-ups. They are supposed to do the sit-ups. It's actually on the ADF website. If they didn't make them do it, I don't know why, unless she failed, and they wanted to make sure that she got in to meet quota, which again is a capability killer. So I don't know what's happening there, mate. My friends thought I was crazy going for a combat role. You know what, but like Brad Pitt said, that's why no one will ever remember their names. One of the saddest things about going to infantry, you know, in this modern era, is we're very But no, self-prideful. And one thing you're not allowed to do, Finny Cunningham, the happy days. Good to have you here, mate. Can we get some thumbs up in chat? Maybe in clusters of 4 at least for Mr. Cunningham. Welcome him to the team, and anyone else that wants to comment for good or for bad in comments below, because you need to be a subscriber now to be able to throw a comment onto the screen. What were we talking about? I forget. Hey, Eats, there you go, mate. G'day. Is Lauren here? Lauren is here. Okay, we'll give her a call in a sec. We'll let her sit down and have her tea. Sorry, my phone is charging now. Okay. Daz. Hi, Lauren. How are you? She's here. It's good to see. She's fine. Good to go. She did do a jail stream today. For those that don't know, it was Samashon, Kaz. Okay, Samashon is actually the battle honour of the 2nd Battalion of the Royal Australian Regiment, okay, which is a battle honour from Korea. And we still haven't got a winner from that. There is a treaty between the coalition forces and North Korea still, where the 38th parallel is. Did you know that? That we're actually still at war? Well, there was a police action with North Korea. Did you know that? Okay. Ryan Gamer Guy. Mate, you don't have the coin at the moment to be doing that. Watsu Cow. $3. One short of 300, which means it's not quite a Spartan. Okay, that means that we can't exactly hold the gates of the Hell's Gates, Thermopylae, because Leonidas clearly hasn't turned up to the party, or someone, due to capability subtraction, didn't make it to the front lines. Lauren is shining. Private Pile. That's a lot of thumbs there, mate. Be careful. Anything more than 10, and Ivan Milat will come back from the grave and haunt you. Okay, we've got some questions in a second. Nathan Island. Don't fail BFA at Singo. No more platoon raising for 7 weeks. Train hard, stand out, or you'll be in holding for ages. And holding platoon means that you will be only able to do the training that you've done, all service arms training, which means what that leaves left is hard PT. And if you're in there because you didn't make the cut, so to speak, because you didn't have Al Pacino giving you a speech where every yard matters, then you're going to be doing some goddamn hard PT. Yep, real hard. Thanks for that, Senior Island. We've got Robert Brennan there, trying to join Army Reserves. Just hit the big 30 mark, Kaz. I'm casual fly out. Should I go full time? If you could ask that question, dude, you got to go full time. Do it. This is your last chance. Picture it. It's a missus. It's a chick you're after. And you know that someone else is circling around, and they, unlike you, don't have their father's looks. They've done well for themselves. You need to go in, swoop in, make a decision. Who dares wins. This is your last crack at the cherry, mate. Go for it. You're 100% going to fail the shot you don't take. JP, tell me about it. Which guy in this group do you want to be? In the centre? You want to be on the sides? The smartest man is that black gentleman over there you can see sleeping now. You'll learn to sleep like a Zyrtec. Like someone mugged in an alley in Chicago on payday. That's how quick you'll go to sleep. What is that? I've got some questions here for you, team. Does anyone have any real information we need to know? Korean War was the first UN mission. I didn't actually know that. Keely Boyd. Good on you today, Das, getting through. Oh, Das got through. So he's in the platoon. Samashon platoon. Well done. Ryan, I have a question for when you're ready, Kaz. Send it through, Ryan. Mutsu Cow sends over another Spartan force. Let's quickly get Lauren on the phone. Okay, let's see it. Let's see thumbs up. Do we want Lauren on? I like her being on there. Do you guys want her on? Let's make her feel wanted. Do we have some thumbs up there, or do you prefer the voice of Kaz? We've got Greggy Palmer there. He's really big on Mr. Buckarooni's channel too. G'day, young fella. I remember travelling in that old Caribou. I was one of the lucky ones that never had spaghetti on the lap. All you need is a heavier pack. We'll give you the gun, son. Greggy Palmer. And that ain't a Herc. I believe that's a Starlifter. When you get on a Caribou, they are the one that freak you out because they actually turn the engines off if they're coming down, and they can land on a 100-metre field, not bringing up Queensland's loss last night. We've got all the hands there. Okay, I get it. Bring Lauren on. It's not about you, Kaz. I get it. Here we are. Let's wait on Ryan's question here, see what we come up with.
Hi, the person you have called is not
She said no. Regarding the Navy comment of dropping push-ups, etc., here is the question. Okay, send it to us. Drunk Aussie. Okay, hands of colour, or he hasn't wiped his ass properly. I'm not sure which one. I slept like a Zyrtec before, slept right through dinner. She must be feeling down. Lauren, I'm going to give you another shot at trying to answer your phone here.
Hi, the person you have called is...
Sorry. Drunk Aussie. Get your hands out of the Nutella, son. Lauren, you've got to eat, mate. You do. Dan Evans says, "G'day, I finished my aptitude test and I passed now. I just got to get my Year 10 report from Neza. I don't know what that is. I'll be going in for the interview soon. Your vids are really helpful for preparation." Look, the whole point of what I do here, Dan, and thanks for your comments there, Evo, is the fact that I want you to consider that 1 in 2,567 is 2 in 2,567, or it could be, if we look at this at the moment, 72 concurrent viewers, 72 is 2,2567. So 72 people that are watching right now absolutely understand why you want to join infantry, and in some measure have your back, are proud of you, despite the fact that you can't be on Instagram, that you can't be on fill in the gap. Joel Forward, I'm more of a Holden guy, but we'll take you any day, mate. Subscribe to the channel, not too cow, double tap, thank you very much. Great. Ask a question, become part of the community, the best community on YouTube, I'd say. We're trying to get to 1 billion tonight, may not make it. So Ryan says, with improvements to technology in all military operations, including infantry and overpopulation issues, what are your thoughts of maybe the military wanting more lambs to the slaughter? Mate, there's less threat in the world than there's ever been. This perceived threat appears to be higher. Specific weapon systems targeting, what would you call it? Surgical weapon systems, whether that be from artillery, whether it be from naval, whether it be from tanks, whether it be from shoulder-fired missile systems. Combatants tend to only hunt combatants, but you still need enough people to be able to have and we've experienced this really badly in Australia, what do you call it? Deployment, you need enough people that can actually take over in shifts and be able to be like, if we had one regiment, then a second regiment could take over, and then first regiment recaps and gets back over. We need a lot more soldiers, but there's a lot of things that are required to get those soldiers. A lot of people have a real misunderstanding that what we do is based on emotion. None of what we do is based on emotion. It's based on intellect. It's based on communications and information that we received, and absolute deliberate intention. So the perception is that, like for example, I spoke with Lauren, they said, but if there was more women in charge, there'd be less wars. No, there'd be more because they act on emotion. But what we do in the military is we act with deliberate intent. So now if a conventional conflict was to occur, you're not going to necessarily see border with one force here, one force on the other side with attrition like you would in a computer game or something like that. What you'd see is specific targeting of leadership elements. Right? And then from there, people going, oh, no more commands are coming. Okay, and then you'd get passed down, okay, we've given up or whatever. Or taking out a leadership, regime change, all these sort of things, cyber attack. Lambs to slaughter, that hasn't happened yet for a long, long time. Okay, even when we were in Afghanistan and Iraq and places like that, asymmetric warfare, it wasn't just get rid of as many of them as possible and get rid of as many as us. It is like Genghis Khan used to do in some ways, was divide and conquer through either an ideal system or making other people say, I'm out of the fight. You know, I've lost a few people overseas, yeah, a few mates, righto, but I've never thought about it that way. I've never felt like I was just getting pushed up against the front line like they were when we were under command of British forces, etc. It's interesting. Thinking of going to ADFA. Any advice anyone can give? You're going to go to ADFA, mate, again. Mr. Muhammad, it's not exactly your choice. Okay, you'll go there, reach for the stars, or you will. And when you go in there, understand that there is people that are politically minded that are also in charge of those areas that are over-ambitious, and they're not necessarily just there to become a soldier. They're there for something afterwards. They've planned their web. And sometimes by being the maverick, the stallion, having exactly what is needed to make tactical decisions based on strategic thought patterns on how to defeat a threat force's centre of gravity, okay, what might happen is that you're discounted due to rank, you know, even though you are different, which is better than good. So be careful with that one, where people that go as an enlisted soldier tend to go in there because they want to live life 100 miles an hour or be around people that are very similar to themselves, which make them the one in 2,567. The more time people have around the military, the more they realise that it's less about hurting and a lot of it's about helping, being on the ground, denying action from a threat force by showing strength. But if you haven't got enough people for operational tempo, which I meant to say before, then it's going to come back and bite you in the arse. Right? Because then you start getting fatigued, and then you start to dislike the people where you are because of the frustrations culturally, and then that can manifest into bad behaviour, and you don't want that. And I've seen that. I've felt that. Yep. And it goes from them too. They're going to start to dislike you. You become the prison guard, if you know what I mean. Casey Baker, CB, has become a member. Mate, that's fantastic. Join the squad. Jump in their team. Mr. CB is now in the battalion. Great to have you here, mate. Let's give Lauren another chance. She's guiltily eating something.
Good evening.
Hello, you've been playing games with us.
I've just woke up. I've been asleep. I fell asleep and I didn't plug my phone in, and we both ran out of batteries.
It's not a crime.
Yeah, but it's like, it triggered me now. I'm triggered.
Yeah. Someone's not going to sleep tonight. You need to listen to the Green Bay, the Green River Killer tonight.
Yeah, I'll have to because it will have messed up my whole routine now.
Yeah. Mate, I've got a reaction video for you to do, and if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. Okay. I'm not going to tell Chad about it because this one, I believe that it's summarised, regardless of what your employment is going to be, whether you want kids, whether you don't want kids. It is the perfect song analogy of which I wish they'd showed me in year 10 to make a little bit of sense about what life should be about. And I tell you what, it's pretty hard on the tear ducts, but I'll talk to you more about that later.
Yeah, do it. Oh, gosh, you're going to make me cry again.
Daniel, it's because I dropped a lounge on a toe team.
I had John Paul come up and wiggle my foot and say, Lauren, you got to wake up.
Don't wake up. Yeah. Is that from Evanescence? Can't wake up.
Yeah, it's usually the other way around.
What's this gentleman's name? I can't see it properly because of my Specsavers eyes.
Okay.
I see Fiona, but I think it says Daniel has crabs.
Oh, I saw that one. I think it's Dane has crabs.
I've had them. They're not hard to get rid of. Bic razor. Don't go Gillette, the best a man can get.
Oh, my gosh.
What's the Great Dane saying?
Okay, the Great Dane is saying, hey, Kaz, I've been... that's someone else. Sorry, same colour. Always been interested in the ADF, mainly have a career change coming up. Only 21. Went for the first meeting when I was 18, but had to go back to year 10. Any input would be great. I'm
telling you now, Great Dane, that is probably the best thing that could have happened to you, because to have a crack at something, to be able to walk away and then to come back again when your life is in check You know, you're a different person. You'd be able to say that to me than what you were when you were 18, etc. This is Dane 2.0, the greater Dane.
The Dane without crabs.
Danish.
Yep.
Mate, so what I'd say to you is watch my videos on, on the U session, the assessment session, the PFA. Okay, and other than that, look at my shorter style videos and decide whether it's inspiration or desperation you're going for to get into the military. There's an excellent video that is actually already been put up that no one can see yet, that's in the members section, that is a tribute to Tasmanian Devil and Das, the son of Keely.
Yeah.
Or we'll call him Sock.
I'm sure unless my eyes were playing tricks on me, I think I saw our Das in the chat.
I think I did too.
I know.
He is the Sock, son of Keely.
Yeah, exactly. I know Keely's become such a fixture. I don't know personally what I'd do without her.
We just got a good subscriber too then. Can you please, I missed your name there, mate. Can you please put that in comments and just let us know a question so we can get to either answering your question but also getting to know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, isn't it nice to have Rye here?
He is. He's Ryan's a guy that I think is still, he needs that niche. You know, Ryan is different, and different is better than good. People hear me say all the time. Lovely bloke. But I feel like Ryan has a white whale he's chasing, and I don't mean a lady, you know. And I think he'd be perfect in a lot of roles. There's no one better I've met with photography. You know, he was great at that. His ability to give instruction is fantastic.
Got a big giant heart too. We love Ryan. Yeah, I only just got myself a new Twitch because I thought I might start doing some gaming on there as well.
What caused your Twitch?
Ryan caused my Twitch. I've never even heard of it before him.
The horror.
Oh, I'm glad I'm here right now. I feel normal again.
Well, what the stubs you here? Why 2 Cav when you can join the band corps? Don't go blowing your flute around here, mate.
He's got to be joking, surely.
I think Ryan's slapping me in the face there. I can see a. Is that like a 10-fingered hand?
Yeah. Keith Upton said, "How old is too old to be an infantry soldier in the Army Reserves?" Obviously, in your opinion, Kaz.
I'd say over 45. Over 45, but this all depends on what book you are. Are you a paper pamphlet that's going to fly with the wind, or are you someone that's going to go in there and give it a good hard knock? Because at the end of the day, I think Army Reserve is fantastic. You know, if you go to a good unit and it supplements everything you do in civilian world. So when people say, "Why would you want to join the Army?" I'm a big advocate for when Army Reserve is done correctly and what that gives to the individual off the streets, skills, leadership over management, etc., and also somewhere to go as a second hit out at life. You know, when you get close to that 40 mark and you start to think, you know what, life feels like I've got regrets. I need to do something about it now. You know, it's great for a midlife crisis.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw another question. Here, BPK02 says, "Hey, Kaz, I got through my kapuka about 3 weeks ago, and I now start my course Friday."
Which course is it, mate?
Yeah, that's exciting, though.
Yes, you can, Ryan. I didn't know you were so old, mate. The wisdom on your unwrinkled face. It's like you've got the sand of Kandahar gaze.
Don't do that to me. I'm still waking up.
The Full Metal Barista. He's a coffee man. Does anyone who went to Kapuka need to train in a sports team? Or is that just a psych suggestion? Nah, mate, no. You know, and at the moment, it's goddamn impossible with the COVID restrictions anyway. They'd better loosen that shit up. If they're going to have, and sorry, ladies, if they're going to tell women you don't need to do anything but support the weight of your shadow to get in the military, but then tell you that you need to be sports above that standard, that's a little bit of thumb in the arsehole, I reckon.
Good grief. Yes, and we don't need that.
No, you don't, because I tell you what, it's a hard fingernail to clean. Unreserved 65 is cut off. 65 is cut off, but that naturally is not possible. Just because you can doesn't mean you do. You've had at 65, you've had 48 years to make a go of it. Don't embarrass yourself. You know, no one wants to serve with someone who's 65. It's different if you get in at 40 and you're still in until 65 doing a job. But if you turn up there at 63, you don't want to be the mascot, is what I'm saying.
Exactly. Jackson Middleton, who is a member, says, "G'day, Kaz. Hello, everyone. Finally have some time to sit down and watch a stream.
Action, Jackson.
Glad you're here. Hi, Stoddy. Hi, Nicole. Sorry, I'm just saying hello to everyone you've probably already said hello to. I'm so disoriented.
Ryan reckons all those years of indoors with no sunlight. I've got some questions for you, Lauren, and for everyone else here, because one of the things that people do not understand, and nor did I at the time when I was only 19, when Mum and Dad and Daddy were staring at me.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know who I was. And even sometimes now I don't know who I am, because I'm 2.0 of what I was when I was military. I'm a different guy now, but as Pearl Jam would say, you can't find a better man.
No, it's true.
Okay, I'm a dick.
No, you're not. And I think it's fair to say that. I think that applies to everyone, whether they're doing it or not. Time is moving along regardless of whether you are having any control of who you're about to become.
You've got no excuse after 30 if you become a worse version of yourself, because you're old enough, you're an adult, and you know. Just a quick one before we go on with the questions. Mohammed, we'll call you Ali for now, no disrespect, sir. ADFA sounds great personally, but only thing I'm concerned about is the officer rank role. I heard it's absolutely hard. It is absolutely hard. But this is the thing, Mohammed. When you go to RMC, ADFA, when you go there, you don't choose what corps you're going to. You will do the ADFA degree, okay? And I think that you should go for history if you can, because at least there's some semblance to military. And then from there, when you go to the RMC component, which will only be a year if you've done the ADF degree, is what was the question I was going to think about? Okay, from there, they will determine what corps you're going to based on what level of leadership that you showed. The less decisive leadership that you show, making decisions like that, like a Zyrtec, when the heat is on, not enough mission information, fog of war, limited time, limited resources, people wounded, tactical dilemmas happening right now. If you can't deal with those situations, you'll be tested in those in many different scenarios at RMC. Then that means you'll be further from the tip and further down at administrational, at logistics, and sometimes more complex, thought out, comfortable locations. Okay? So you can tell a lot by someone from what corps they come from.
And that's true, I think. Even as a civilian, the more I've gotten to know a lot of different flavours of you, the more I see, differences.
Well, when you go for the military, the closer you are to being infantry, the more likely is that you were a sports team player, that you are fitter, that you're a decisive thinker, okay, that you were able to make snap decisions in a short period of time. And you're probably the sort of person that wasted the last minute to get shit done, But it has its strengths. We've got Dave D here. He'd be an excellent person to have on here, but again, not allowed to be on here because of restrictions to the social media, to the judicial system of the military, where if you say one thing, they go, you're trying to represent the entire army. We all know you're not.
Yeah, I know.
Salute with your left hand, fingers splayed, tongue out.
Yeah, because Dave's great to talk to everyone. Hey, Nitro Fees here. Hi,
Hey,
Fiona.
Fiona. How you going, mate?
How's training going? You know, she's got a Sprinter van. I am so jelly belly of it.
Big van. Can't go to Macca's. What am I going to do for coffee there, love?
You stop and you get out and you make one inside your van.
Study the medic. Life has many opportunities, but a balance this life also has. With that study, the medic, okay, the thought medic, okay, we've got some questions on here that you can ask about yourself. And some of these questions should be goddamn well asked at high school, because I think the teachers have dropped the ball in year 10, 11 and 12, whether it's through, I don't know what it is, whether they're tired. I don't know. But some self-appraisal, knowing who you are, what you can do, being tested, thicker skin, stoicism are the things that make everyone better. As we said earlier on in this stream, the more you drop a standard, you also reaction, drop capability. But it's not until an absolute kinetic occasion occurs where you need to act right now do we notice the curse, the result of dropping those standards and seeing that we weren't up to the task. And that is called, finish the sentence for me, Lauren, a cooked
Don't know.
book. Cooked book. So on paper, you look great. You look great on paper, but then when you're tested, oh, okay, someone cheated on the previous ones.
Yep, exactly. You want it to, who you are. Wow, that's a big cow. Dane has crabs.
You could have spent that on medicine, sir.
Yeah, but maybe it's all cleared up and he just doesn't change his name. It says, thanks, mate. Definitely inspiration, not desperation. It's like a craving. I love the brotherhood and the mayhem. Just watching the videos on YouTube, I want to be there. Isn't about the money, worth the tip. Thanks. Thank you.
Daniel, thank you very much for that. We're going to call that a Calcutta cow because it's got that orange turban sort of look to it.
Yep.
You know, I love it. Thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to buy some half-cooked drumsticks, eat those, and see if I've still got a strong immune system. Not so, Cal.
Yep. That's so good. Hey, Wakey had a question.
Go.
And it was, hey, Lauren, could you ask Kaz, the medic training is dropping the diploma of paramedicine. What problems do you think will arise from this?
Well, I don't know, because this is the thing. A lot of people don't realise when we go overseas, the medics we take are normally civilians that are given SSO positions, Army Reserve positions, and they're already people from medical backgrounds, fully qualified, that come over with their Hippocratic oath to come and help in those hospital areas. An example of that was when we went to Rwanda. I know that was 1995, but almost every medic that was over there wasn't military medic before that situation. So this is about saving money. And when it happens in Australia, what occurs is you actually call paramedics instead of medical corps to be the first responder or to go and assist the first responder on the action site. We've got some great medics, okay, but we've also got some shit ones. You know, it's and when I say shit, what I mean is they might be technically good but not physically good, not able to meet the standards, meet the rigours, to be able to move at the speed of those they need to save. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that made sense. Although I'm not sure what maybe I have missed something in the conversation when I was snoring my little head off. But Liam Smith has said, mate, schools reflect the rest of society.
Yes.
So society is telling people to get the government to solve your problems. So schools are teaching students to turn to authority government to solve individual issues.
And that is where you'd fail, because the government is not exceptionally good at anything.
No, exactly. Truth is, really, folks, we're a lot more powerful than we realise to deal with a lot of our own issues.
Yep. And I believe we're living in a police action right now.
Yeah, look, same. I think you're not alone.
Yep. And we won't go too far into that. But anyway, we've got some questions here for self-deliberation, so to speak. And I got these from a really unusual thing. One was listening to a reaction video that I watched tonight to get some emotional basis on what I'm talking about here. And before we start that, remember, if you don't know what we're talking about, subscribe right now so you can comment here and ask the questions so we can answer them. But the 1 in 2,567 means there's 10,000 people in infantry in Australia. There's not actually that many. Okay, there's not that many. That includes the 7 battalions of the Royal Australian Regiment and also 2 Commando and SASR. It doesn't even make 10,000, which means if you divide our population by 10,000, there is only 1 in 2,567 citizens that actually is currently in the role. So why would you be so surprised when a parent, when a friend, when a girlfriend, when anyone doesn't understand why you would go to 343, roll the infantry, seek out and close the enemy to kill or catch him, season hold ground, repel attack by day or night, regardless of season, weather or terrain. But let me tell you something else. If you go to university and you think, why would you go to infantry, but then you go and join the army, go to university, become a marine biologist, guess what you're never going to do in your life? A single thing to do with marine biology. You're going to be working on contaminated waste. You're never going to go near a, pardon language, a fucking whale. You're not going to go near a dolphin, a Galapagos tortoise. All those goddamn positions are taken by the people that should have been joining the Army Reserve at 65.
Yeah, well, it's true though. You need to be quite realistic about your employment prospects when you enter anything. You know, they not that long ago, they had a big glut of folks studying like.
Sorry, Stubbsy's going. Stubbsy, take it easy, mate. He's going to work.
Yeah, they had a lot of people studying forensics and criminology, thinking they were all going to be like on the TV shows.
Yep.
And of course, there was very few jobs at the end of that. So, you know, just be realistic. Look at the experiences of people who've been before you.
Yeah, and think to yourself, what is it that we keep hearing about this infantry? Put a thumbs up now if you want to go to infantry, if you want to. Because you must be curious, and press like if you can while you're subscribing. As a matter of fact, play it like a piano, do it all. Yes. You must be thinking to yourself out of curiosity, what is the go with this job, career, calling that is infantry that not one person regrets it? What happens in that cult? But it can't be a cult. It can't be brainwashing because people went there. We didn't even have to advertise, and you came, and there's a line that goes around the block like the soup Nazi just to get this position.
One of the best episodes.
No singleton, 3 months.
Yeah, and I think that's true because I think it's not brainwashing, it's actually training. It's actually programming to make you better at your job, and it seems to make you very resilient people in general.
That's true. We've got a new subscriber here, Indra. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly, if I murdered it. Thanks for answering my question, guys. Definitely has given me confidence boost. Mate, be here to stay, because I'm telling you what, mate, and I don't know what nickname to give you, but by being here and not trying to concentrate, not trying to write down notes, what's occurring is you're actually listening to the comments and myself, who is a veteran of the Royal Australian Regiment, the very same sort of guy that would be training you, would be your reception party, would be assisting you as a platoon commander in the field with a hand on your shoulder, but not in a sailor, Moby Dick is coming kind of way. You know, so it makes sense to be here, part of the conversation, and just think to yourself, I learnt a hell of a lot during that stream, but I still can't tell you a single thing I learnt, you know. Yeah, but I just know. Yeah. You just know. You just get the feel, the atmospherics of being around the people you want to be around and work with.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, it'll sink in. Stick around here long enough, we repeat a lot of the same information. Not in a bad way. It doesn't make us suffer. We understand that's why you guys are coming here. But, you know, I've learned so much because I am notoriously famous for not knowing anything, really, about the ADF. So if
I'm a girl.
I am. And if Kaz and everyone can put up with my stupid questions, there might just be one of you out there who was wondering the same thing too.
Yeah, dude. And look, we've got someone down here, CHQDMN, I'm not sure if that is, wants to go to the Special Forces direct entry. I hope you're good to go, mate, because once you start that journey, dun dun, dun dun, the music starts, and you think of the fittest you've ever been in your life. You know, even if you were like Dr. Pronk, who did his barrier test with me in '99, you know, that guy is insane, Olympic fitness. You know, but even he looked like he was going to have mum and dad spaghetti on his shirt already. It is a test, and to think of being perpetually tested for nearly 18 months to earn a hat badge, that's hard yakka.
Yeah, it sure is. Rob Wool's here.
Hey, what a fleecy gentleman he is.
Yes. Thanks for waking me up, JP. And that's actually a good answer to, what was it? Chudunum? He said you should be fit as F. You really should be if you're even going to give it a crack. And Nicole King made a good point where she said so many civilians still connect just Army to infantry. And I'm a bit guilty of that myself. When we think Army, we just think infantry, but there is so many other roles encompassed in that.
And there absolutely is. Okay, but infantry is the spear point, and everyone else except Armoured Corps is supporting them. Now,
exactly right. Yeah, and you can't blame us for instantly presuming that either, because that's just where our brains go.
And maybe that stereotype also gets embedded by the hatred you have for the Pogue in movies when they have people like Upham, the guy from Saving Private Ryan, who they stereotyped as the clerical guy that tried to carry his typewriter with him after D-Day and then let the guys down the entire movie. You can tell that that wouldn't have gone well for the clerical staff, you know. And you know what? Infantry do all the dying, pretty much. So that's probably where they get a lot of that too.
I think it is, and I think it's just also, you know, we are civilians, and we're not really that well versed on even the structure of our own military, because it kind of doesn't sometimes even affect our world. You know, it doesn't really. We don't see it there. It's that invisible line. It's
true. Robert Brennan, yes, mate, same man. Is Dr. Dan Pronk, SASR? Yes, he was. Yep. I reckon he's one of the fittest men I've ever seen. We had to do a 28-kilometre speed march for the barrier test, and he ran the whole thing. You know, and that's what Pax on too, sorry. And he did it in 4 hours. Okay, some questions for you guys. This is some questions that you can ask yourself. I'll give a little bit of an answer, some of these as well, so it's not quite the Socratic method, which is never give people the answer. Actually ask them a question and let them answer it to themselves, and they'll learn about themselves. So here's some questions. In no particular order. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been truly tested in your life? Truly tested. And so that you know whether you've passed or whether you've failed. Did you come up well or did you not? Have you ever been tested?
I've had both. I've had where I thought I was ready to do something and I'd bitten off more than I could chew. And then I've had where I was totally ready to be tested, didn't even expect to win, but I'd achieved my goals. So I've had both.
Yep. It's an interesting one because that's the one thing you get out of being infantry. You will guaranteed, even if you never go outside the domestic realm, you will be tested. Singleton is a goddamn test in itself. And you've got 50 other witnesses that can attest to whether you are as good as what you say you are or not. And that is the scary thing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's one thing you thinking how well you've done. It's another thing, really, don't even judge yourself on matters when you're learning something or when you're building skills on it. You need to listen to the people who are going to be judging you on it, and you need to accept what they say without emotions.
Yeah. Yep, we've got Dave D. Yep, he was truly tested. You know, basically amputated his own leg, falling nearly 1.5 feet and onto a tree root, only to have his leg basically go 360 degrees in front of his child, and then came back, got through all the medicals, made all the hurdles, and now he's in the position he actually wanted to be. So well done.
Yeah, indeed. Orlando says he was physically tested. He's been physically tested. Yes, I've had to find out I'm a bit stronger than I ever thought I was.
Yep.
Way too.
Orlando, that's a good name.
It is a good name, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, the next question should probably be the last one. Do you really know who you are? I'd say the majority of people would say no. You know, I still don't exactly know who I am, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think even if they said yes, they may actually not know themselves as well as they think. You know, it's you should know thyself.
Yep. Look, I've been on a plane similar to this one, but it actually was a Herc, you know, on the way to be the first plane that lands at East Timor. But it was only a platoon of us on that plane. Now, when we got off, we'd been told less than 16 hours before they were expecting there to be fighting on the landing. You know, so the entire way over there, and we knew we were going to be the first ones on the ground. Paul Jacobson was my section commander, you know, and Birchie was my platoon commander. And we were cool as cucumbers. We knew we were better trained than the people who were going to fight. Okay, when we rocked up there, the test was the whole way you're going to keep your nerve. We kept our nerve. We were ready for it. We got off, and the fact that they didn't want to step up to the plate, we passed the test straight away there. Okay, what would you suggest instead of service? If this was someone and you gave this to stream to someone about joining infantry and they were one of the 2,567, they're saying don't join infantry, let them know.
Yep.
What would you rather I do? Since you're given the instructions, what do you want me to do with my life that is going to make you appeased?
This kind of shizzles me, right? If somebody is an adult, let them live their life. If they go and they fail, they don't need you saying, oh, I told you so. You know, let them live their life. Let people make mistakes. So what if they go and they don't get through Kapuka? So what? It's not your life. Let them go.
The only caveat I would have on what you just said then is quite often the people that are being the one in the 2,567 are at an age where they are sometimes adolescent. You know, you're talking about an 18 or 19-year-old guy who doesn't know who he is.
No,
you know, he's still blue flaming 100 miles an hour,
Yep.
you know, and can make wrong decisions. So it could be people go, I know him, and I don't think he can make that. You know?
Exactly. But sometimes you get that sour grapes crew.
Absolutely.
You get those folk who just, don't want you to maybe do, and they won't do it consciously. Sometimes people have this thing where they don't actually really want other people to do well.
Yep.
If it's your family, I imagine they're just very worried about you. But sometimes your friends don't always give you the best advice. So you have to do you, and if it is your calling, you should give it your best shot and don't go about it half-assed. Use that resistance of wanting to show them what you're really made of to make yourself the best version of. I don't know anyone who's 18 or 19 who knows themselves. I hardly know anyone our age who knows themselves.
Frenzy Tech, good to have you here, mate. Zombie on the screen. Great to have you here, mate.
Oh, welcome.
Yep. I thought your Frenzy Tech has been here for ages.
Sometimes remember YouTube, sometimes unsubscribe, folks.
Yeah. So what would happen if Christopher Columbus, if Captain Cook, if any number of people, Burke and Wills, you know, Burke and Wills should have listened, if they had have said, oh no, to all of our explorers. What if Julius Caesar had been told, don't go back across the Rubicon? Guess what? He'd still be alive. But we wouldn't be having the Julius Caesar's calendar. We wouldn't be having some of the world would be different if Julius Caesar hadn't said no.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go where others fear to tread.
Probably should have listened to Beware the Ides of March. Yeah, exactly.
The Ides of March. And isn't it funny how he got killed by the pen holders?
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it goes. You know, what if Franklin and that had have listened to everybody who didn't think they should go up and find that Northwest Passage, you know, where horrendous, the ship, the Terror and that. There are sometimes when people should listen to people.
Well, we've got someone, Lauren, I actually found myself at 16 to 18. I'm not sure what that's about. Let's Joey Cull here. Joey Cull. I'm 19. That's how old I was. I've had most of my family question my intentions, but it hasn't swayed me. Questioning is fine. Trying to talk you out of something. Does it come from a place of love? Or is it because they're sour grapes, etc.? I don't know. Maybe they love you so much they don't want you to go. They want you in their life. So I'd ask that. Let's treat this with Joey Cull. You're the person these questions are directed at, okay, mate? will make you the important man of the hour. What is your biggest hang-up of people enlisting? These are questions you can ask them. Why do you have a problem with me enlisting in the Army? You're going to be a net beneficiary of this as well, because my legacy extends to all of those that are in my circle of interest, my family, my friends.
Yep. And here's a tip. If said person who is telling you this doesn't have their own shit together, you do not have to listen to them.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Jay Hayes just said William should have picked a different career. William loves his work.
I can't stand William.
You love William.
Okay, the next one would be the question for you. And this goes to all of the guys and gals in there that want to go to infantry. Why infantry over everything else? You know, if I said to you, why do you want to go to infantry? I bet you don't even know until you watch the video that's waiting for you that gets released tomorrow. Tell me what time you want that video to come out tomorrow, and I'll meet the request. Because it's good to go. All I've got to do is change it to public. It's in members section at the moment. Whatever time you want it, let me know. That'll be the time. Okay, so why infantry over all else? You could go to a lot easier physical jobs in the military. You will. But there is no job. None. I'll say this, and it'll offend some. There is no job that is better in the Australian Army than infantry. It physically will absolutely make you hate it at times. But we work less in many ways than others. The mateship is off the scale.
The community is untouchable, and compared to any other military community family out there, there is nothing like it.
I couldn't imagine how exciting this must be for people that are in the chat right now who are waiting to go to infantry. Some of them are at the School of Infantry right now who understand that they can now call their section commander by his name, you know, that are part of a fraternity, part of a legacy, that are building on something with a lot of fails and hurdles in the way and an element of luck and Hail Mary. You know, but your life can go on now for another 40 years if you can hold the reins. You will be injured. You will. Whether that be something that is kinetic, you know, whether it's a break, whether it be your back, whether it be your legs, whether it be your knee, there is a price to pay. But I don't regret anything. I've got a busted cornhole and I have never slept with a sailor. I don't know how it happened.
Yeah,
maybe eating cheese and too much salami.
When you're away, I didn't hear the word cornhole once, and now you're back, I've missed it. Robert Brennan said good night. He's off to bed.
Hey, Breno, off the bed, mate. What's going on? Do you have to get up early, sir?
Maybe he does.
Maybe he's a baker.
Hey, they have to get up really early.
Too early.
Yeah, indeed.
And no one ever says thanks for the donut. Neither does the cops.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, who's going to make you vanilla slice? Yeah.
Okay, here's one that is a broad stretch. I'm going to hold that one for the moment because that one is a testy one. Let's ask another one. Do you have regrets in life so far?
You should have.
I've got shitloads. You know what my biggest one is? How I've treated people.
Yeah.
When you look back on your life, almost everyone can think of times they treated people badly. Whether it was Bettina Byers at school, I said some really nasty things to her. You know, whether it was partners I had in my past, I didn't realise you only have probably 3 cracks at having a happy life with a partner. You wouldn't have more than 3. You know, if you haven't been successful with 3, it's unlikely you're going to get it after that. You know, we blow it either through our partner choice or by the way we've treated our partner. You know, and that's a sad reality. You know, if you don't get it right early, you know, you've got to hang on to those reins and, you know.
And that's why auditing yourself honestly is really important, because you can't grow if you don't actually know yourself well enough to know what you did wrong, what your part in something was, because that's the opposite to playing victim.
Yeah, and partner choice, it feels like no one ever takes responsibility for the fact that they chose the partner.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know how you're supposed to know sometimes, you know, because sometimes they give you a glossy catalogue that can last 2 years before all of a sudden it's pulled away and you see what's really there. But anyway, I won't harp on that one. Relationship advice, that's another video for Lauren and I.
It is, and we've talked about it. Mr. Buckaroonie's here.
Hey, Mr. Buckaroony, how you going?
Mr. Buckaroonie, I needed you this morning in my stream because I have no idea how prisons run. That's something I learned.
They run on, what would they run on? They run on merch.
Yeah.
They run on perceived anger. You know, Mr. Buckaroony would let you know there's a pecking order there. You know,
Oh, yeah.
many a man has had his nose broken by his own flapping tongue, as it says in Harrigan's in the Hunter Valley. Mr. Buckaroony, any idea of when the footies are coming through? For those that don't know, we've ordered $1,250 worth of footies from Patreon. Thank you very much. Where $250 worth of them will be going to Papua New Guinea for children to kick the lace with their bare foot. God bless their feet. And the others, we're going to get 50 of them for the channel. You know, and some of those will get signatures and sent out to those on Patreon, etc. We might even raffle off a few to go towards special occasions, etc., as well as give some to kids when we take the van out and say, "Take that, you filthy animal!" as I kick the ball out there. If you give something away for free, you should be able to have some sense of humour with it, with the delivery. Self-audits are a great idea, but I fear only people who have a full, true emotional pain understand how important it is.
And that is true. You do need a level of self-awareness before you can actually even start growing. Because if you can't tell what you look like to other people, what you sound like to other people, you're probably not got an accurate view of yourself. And it comes with being painfully honest with yourself, forgiving yourself, and just going forward.
Yeah, right on. And Dave D, he regrets climbing that tree.
Yeah. I don't.
Who is it that chopped down the apple tree?
That was George Washington.
That's
Cannot
it.
tell a lie. But Dave, it's not like you even really. Don't make it sound like you were climbing a tree. Like you weren't that high up in there. Don't make it sound all glamorous. I don't even know how he did such an injury from the height he was at.
He was a little bit higher than the splinter. And for those that don't know, Mr. Buckaroony also had many, many years and was a squadron sergeant major in Signals Corps, which is a fantastic corps.
Yep, indeed.
Too technical for me, you know, and I didn't understand putting a cam net over the top of something that's not in danger.
Being prepared.
Yeah, all it did was slow them down. Righto, who holds you back in life?
That's a good question.
Who holds you back? That one can be painful to answer because it might even be someone you love.
It might even be you.
Could be.
Yeah, who holds you back in life? Exactly. You will find some folks are handbrakes on your life and you need to take the handbrake off.
Okay, this is the second last question. It was going to be the last question. I'm going to move this to that so that it's back to infantry for a second.
Okay.
If your priority is to live life, I can absolutely say that the Australian Army is almost the only way to truly be able to live life, to be actually paid to do the things that you take an entire year to hopefully get the time, get some amalgamation with others to do something with you that's exciting. Now, what do I mean by that? Most of you work a lot harder than what I ever worked in infantry. And you'll work an entire year. You'll get bugger all holidays. You'll get bugger all time. You'll have limitations on what you can do, what you can't do. And you're paying for every little thing. And then you're only doing a Kentucky version of it. You're doing a watered down version. When you join the Army, you know you got free medical, you got free dental. When you go into that, in infantry especially, the mateship, tick. You've got that covered from the start. You're never going to be alone. And loneliness is one of the biggest creators of stress in humanity. We're like horses in a paddock. The next one, you will have domestically as well as abroad, you can have opportunities where you can go from a plane to an armoured vehicle, to a helo, to a naval vessel, using weapon systems that defeat armour, that reduce buildings, while watching and laughing and playing cards, meeting other cultures, helping children, you know, having a sense of humour, wearing a uniform with arguably one of the most identifiable headdress in the world, the slouch hat. And you'll be able to wear that as you majestically move through society, where you choose to be an ambassador for good, where everything you do is paid for, but not only that, you're also getting paid. You're living life at the fullest and not at the pace that you go at, but beyond your pace. So you're also being tested. You're being given legacy. You're being given the opportunity to be rewarded like an Olympian by giving a medallion that goes on your chest. It goes on the left side, as she says. She wears the medals on the left. Everything you do when you wake up goes towards creating another stepping stone to your future, your legacy, your history, and what you pass around the campfire.
Yep.
So that leads... Sorry?
That's exactly, because some people don't even have a campfire to pass things around.
That's true. So what is someone thinking that is 19 years old? And this leads me into the next question. So Joey Cole, what are you thinking when you look at the person that has done the job that you wish to do for 24 years, who's looking back through a camera, who's telling you, regardless of what happens in your career, I could not stress enough, one, how proud I am. You've got 100 points already, okay, until you fail, okay, and even then there can be a mitigation, but I'm letting you know you do not know what it's going to give you in return for your efforts until you do it. And if someone is here taking their time to voluntarily do this in their time when they could be doing anything else, to let you know it's because I can't afford for you to miss out. There is no one really like me in the world that is doing this for you. But I am different. I am different. I care about Keely's kid, who's at Singing at the moment, who just got session. His life is about to begin, but so are his stresses. But those stresses are going to make him a better man. It won't be long before Keely doesn't even identify her son when the man comes home, but still loves her even more than he ever used to, or maybe says sorry for the way I used to act.
Yeah, but you know, as a parent, you don't always need that. Just live your best life.
Well, let's have this question. Oh, sorry. So Joey Cole is actually off to Kapooka on Monday, 5th of July.
It's Joss.
Joss. Oh, Joss. It's
should have gone to Specsavers.
Specsavers. It's as cold as it gets, man. It's as cold as it gets. Your nipples are going to feel like they've been stolen.
Yeah, he's in the book apparently, because I did ask him, because I've got my list open in case anyone needs to go in there. I'm keeping a list to give to Kaz to put in the partially invisible book.
Do they call it a list in New Zealand?
Yep, a list.
Here's the, do you think I'm an idiot retreading as infantry? Not at all. Because if you're retreading for infantry, you just proved my point. That you're going back understanding from viewing infantry how hard it can be, but yet you knew you missed something on round one and you're going back to give that a go. What bigger compliment to a corps that could you possibly give than someone that knows exactly what they're in for? Good on you, mate.
Yeah, and knowing what you know now, you're going back in. You know, you're a different person than what you were before, so...
It's fantastic.
You know, I think it is too.
Is a lurker here?
No, I think Das is lurking.
Das is here. This is for you, my man. You know, you need to go over and you need to find out who the Tasmanian devil is. And you need to treat him like a... and go and spend 10 minutes with him now. Talk to those guys that came from Kapooka today, because some of them are going to be your section buddies. Some of them may be your platoon buddy. Some of those might be your pit partner on the next operational hit out, wherever we're going.
Including Tim Emblin. He said, hey, Kaz, first time watching in a few months. Finished Pookie round a month ago, now just been in holding at Singo and just got into Samichon. Platoon, Def Ops, here we come.
Def Ops sucks. That will test you, son. It will. Your hands will feel like you've been caught stealing in Iran. You know, it is going to be agony when for 3 days straight, the first 24 hours no sleep, you're digging with an entrenching tool, not an ET, an extraterrestrial, because we know, you know, that Mexicans don't come from Australia. I can't even explain it. It is the hardest you'll ever work, defence ops.
Robert Brennan he is asking who is the Tassie Devil. Well, the Tassie Devil is one of our subs who's been here for a very, very long time, since the very beginning of his journey, all the way through to marching out of Kapuka. So you're a Tassie boy too, Robert Brennan. Well, you know, you need to keep an eye out for our Tassie Devil.
And Robbie, you know what? I was an instructor 4 different occasions at the School of Infantry. So the best thing that you can do as part of this channel is go into everyone in Samashon Platoon and say, you know what? Kaz just told me if you all subscribe to In the Trenches with Kaz so that he can sit there and mentor you through these weeks, that I will probably come to your march out.
Yeah, and
if you invite me.
Yeah, we've got a few folks from Tassie here. I happen to be living in Tassie at the moment, God's country.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is,
what?
I know all of their bosses that they're about to get told what to do by,
Yeah.
including all the commanders. So, yeah, one of them in particular, one that is actually down in Depot Company.
Yep.
Looks exactly like Ricky Martin, and he did dance with Kylie Minogue in East Timor.
There you go. He was lucky to even get to see the concert.
She bangs, she bangs. I didn't.
No, nor did most of you guys.
I was kicking the bad guy out of Nam.
Yeah, everyone else was up in the jungle on a big mountain somewhere. Wakey Waz has another question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lauren, may you ask Kaz another question, please? If so, here it is. Hey, Kaz, will the recruiters think I haven't thought my job through if my first preferred is medic and second preferred is infantry? I don't know why they'd think that.
The only thing I can think of is there a conflicting career role. The medic is the Hippocratic Oath to preserve life. The other one is following the path of the hunter of humans, which is to seek out and close with the enemy to kill or catch him, seize and hold ground, repel attack by day and night, regardless of season, weather, or terrain. So they're absolutely bipolar job descriptors. But in saying that, you can just say that my role is to make as many people that wear the same uniform as me come home safely.
Here's an absolutely excellent question from Kian Joubert.
That's a good name.
Isn't it? I know, it's a fancy name. Said, bringing it back to not knowing who you truly are, how did you, and I presume he's talking about you in particular, Kaz, how did you come to terms or overcome the fact that you were risking your life, like primarily before enlistment?
I never thought that. I've never actually thought of I'm in a position where I'm risking my life. Even when we were in positions where we were in extended line moving across grass paddocks to go and go after people in East Timor, or when I was patrolling by myself at times in a police car outside the wire in Egypt, or whether we're in Rwanda, I was happy with the level of training, mateship and brotherhood of all those that were around me. And at the end of the day, I thought to myself, they're kinetic weapon systems. If it happens, I'm not going to feel it, you know. Yeah. I'm going to either not wake up, or I'm going to wake up at a hospital in Germany with a beautiful voice going, Dan, you're ready for your bath. Okay. No, never. Honestly, man, you just don't think that way. I don't think I've seen soldiers scared. You know?
Yeah, I think it's something...
You're never alone.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe that's something you could maybe overthink, because the risk may not be quite as high as you maybe think, that it's not a Hollywood thing. I saw Dane is going to bed. Good night, Dane.
Good night, Dane. Great Dane.
My guy wants to know, Kaz, how did you and Lauren meet? Like, how did you get this?
You can answer this question better than me.
Okay, all right. Well, I was a lurker on Kaz's channel, but I'd already heard of Kaz because we have, like, same friends in same circles. So, you know, we travel in the same circles. So when I had someone who is very close to me, who I trust, vouch for Kaz, it became very easy for me to trust Kaz. And then we just got talking, and we found that we talk about all kinds of, we have a lot of subjects in common, and I'm just here supporting his vision. That's all I'm doing. And it's that's really it. We actually met through JP, really.
Yep, yep. And I loved JP when I was in the battalion with him. It was just so hard to get a reaction out of, and it made I treated him, I think, like a ball of string, and I'm a cat, and I'm trying to swat it to get a reaction.
It's always worth it, though.
Yeah.
He doesn't say a lot, but when he does, it's usually very, very funny.
It is very funny. It's an awkward laugh.
Yeah.
I've never seen an open mouth. It's always like, oh, you nearly got me.
Yeah, he can be a naughty boy.
Here's the last question.
Okay.
This would be a good one for Greggy Palmer, if he agrees with it. Liam Nelson, I love the movies you've been in, mate. Great to have you. Subscribe. Good to have you here, sir. Can we get some thumbs up for Liam Nelson? We've got the celebrities here.
He will find you.
Okay. Think about what you want in life. Okay, this is a good one for young people, but this is not the whole question. Think about everything that you want in life. If you ask someone up until 25 years old, before the frontal cortex is fully developed, what do you want in life? You're probably going to see a wish board, and it's going to have Lamborghinis. It's going to have maybe a dog, holidays, money. It's going to be very, very materialistic and stuff like that. But then if you could ask that same person after 45 years old, 50 years old, or on their deathbed, what do you wish that you could go back and do now? There wouldn't be a Lamborghini. It wouldn't be about money. Okay, it would all be about either fixing the wrongs of the regrets they have, or it'd be things like family. It'd be things like children, having children. How many people leave this world without a legacy behind them? You know, there is something so lovely about selfless, tribal, what would you call it, gatherings. You know, people have in almost every house still now a table with 6 chairs around it because we've been brought up to do that. But how many people can fill a table anymore? You know, most people now, when they pass away, probably don't have enough people to hold their freaking coffin.
That's sad.
And that's because we're moving so fast, and we think that everyone, as well as everything, is disposable.
Yep.
So, okay, I haven't got time for that. Haven't got time for that. Haven't got time for that. And I realise that now after deep diving, deep subjects continually, that we have got it wrong, and we are getting broken down by the government through, I believe, potentially a deliberate action to split up the family unit, because that means 2 people working, double the tax. I don't know. I don't know. But we don't feel like we're going in the same direction of our ancestors, you know, and it's a shame.
Sorry, guess who's here?
Tom of the Jungle.
Tom of the Jungle is here.
I just saw the Aussie flag. It drew me to it.
Yeah.
He's still alive. Thinking of you, crazy times, hey. Still loving every day. I hope you're well. Mate, how good is that? Tom of the Jungle. We were with Tom when he doubted himself the most. This is the assassin of the Penrith Panthers corner. Undefeated. Bare knuckle beating champion. You know, he was a Penrith bluer, you know, so to speak. You know, lovely bloke. Lovely family, you know, and wasn't sure if you could make it. We used to do free PT together. You know, he was the very first person to come forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he threw himself right in there, and he scrubbed up real nice too.
He did. He's deep in his career. I still remember. Remember going to watch him swear his oath of affirmation.
Yeah.
I've got photos of him on my computer.
In fact, I think he might have been one of the first ones from your channel that kind of hit me in the heart, and it made me real proud, and I got choked up.
He punched you?
No, you know what I mean. I got all choked up. I was emotional about our Tom of the Jungle.
Yeah.
It's so great, you know. When we're talking about legacy, like Rise said, is legacy actually that important, though? In my humble opinion, it's everything. And that doesn't even necessarily have to mean children.
Yep.
Like, you leave a legacy whether you want to or not. You make a mark on this world even if you don't do anything. And it can be positive and it can be negative. Because he's added, the worst feeling as a child is to feel responsible for my parent who feels they are entitled for him to care for them. Well, you know,
I actually don't understand the
Yeah.
question. Just the wording of it. The worst feeling as a child, okay, is to feel responsible for my parent, okay, as a carer for your parent, who feels that they are entitled to for you to care for them.
Right.
Okay,
I don't know. Maybe that's a generational thing because I feel like, to me, right, and this is how I was raised, is family is everything. You know, that the family are there for you for everything, and that it would just be natural that you pay that back to your folks as they got older. So I don't know. It might just be a generational gap there with me.
well, our parents are so scared of going to homes that basically they're saying to you, do not ever put me in a home. But that is the same as saying to me, I come before your life. You need to wipe my ass. You know, I am going to push myself onto you to look after me. Like looking after the farm despite the fact you want to go away and be a sailor. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And you must follow your own path. Exactly right. And you know what? Like I've said to my kids, if I ever get dementia or something, please do put me in a home.
I want to go to a home now.
Don't put that burden on yourself, but please put a nanny cam in there.
There's a saying, you got to be careful who you say it to.
Yeah.
And that's a wolf knows when it's time to leave the pack.
Yeah.
So you know when you start to become that person where it's time to, I love yous all, see you later. And okay, I'm not going to go into that one. Orlando, because what you're talking about tonight is, I always think Orlando Bloom when you say that.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that you shot Achilles in the heel with the arrow. Because what you're talking about tonight is what my grandfather and Anzac tried to tell me when I was a teenager. Yeah. And you know what, man? Our ears are actually deaf to the knowledge of the elderly. You know, and Genghis Khan apparently used to say the same, that he grew up wearing mouse skins. His children and grandchildren grew up wearing silk, and they never understood where the silk came from, but it actually come from the calluses on their grandfather's hands.
Yeah, look, Rye, that's a really difficult situation. But like I said, I think everyone's different with that. For me, even if I thought, wow, these old bastards are being a bit entitled, I would still be looking after them. But I think that might even, like I said, just be a generational thing. You young'uns sometimes are a little bit smarter than us with some of that stuff.
Where that can become very hard is when just a simple man with the heart of gold in a first world country land. Yeah, Australia. Exactly. When you meet a chick from another country, and a lot of my friends have done this, and then realise that they didn't understand that they had to look after a village. When they met a girl, whether it be from South America or whether it be from Asia, and all of a sudden they find out that why are we never getting ahead in life? And then they find out that deceptively, you know, their partner has been sending their money back to their family, you know, and basically you're getting milked like a cow for the rest of your life.
Yeah, there is definitely different types of entitlement. Like, I think if it's I wiped your bum so you wipe mine, you know, when I'm old, I think that's a little bit different than, okay, now you're married to my son / daughter, whatever. Now I'm part of your family. You need to show me the money. Yeah, there's different levels of entitlement. It's true. And I think it's a mutual thing. I think just because someone is older doesn't mean they can't be an ass, okay?
Absolutely.
Just because someone's your family member doesn't mean they can't be an ass as well. That happens too.
Can I say something that sounds, you've got to actually listen to it, I believe, to be able to understand the logic behind it.
Give it a go.
This is one of the first generations in the history of the world, okay, that does not have that point of diminishing returns at 50 years old. I'll explain what I'm saying. Up until this point, you did not get smarter by living longer than 50. When you were getting ready to retire, you didn't learn anything else. You just regurgitated the same stories over and over and over again, and they changed, okay, with creative license to become something that you thought happened in your life, or wisdom that you created. what I mean is you're going to get as smart as you can get at about the 50 to 55 years old. After that, then you're just now becoming the Patreon of your family, so to speak. But this is the first generation where the younger people, when they get to 50, are still diving deep, are still red pilling, are still fully engaged, are learning the criteria, that are learning technologies, that are learning the way the world really was. If you looked at the lessons that we were brought up when we were younger and you compared them to what we know now to be not factual, it can be really scary. You know, so someone now can be on a path to education through investigative journalism with their spare time and become absolutely savantish over information that was never available, you know, up until the internet developed to the point it's at now. But you do need to be able to decipher through multiple causes and cases and sources what you believe is real.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think you know, I think it comes down to there are different kinds of people. You know, we are different. We're not robots. We are all different. We all have different motives and agendas. Some are big, some are small. You know, you've got to let other people be who they are as well. And because, like Rob was saying, he just doesn't want to. He said if Genghis Khan worked his ass off to provide silk for someone else, that's no way to live for someone else. Well, like for me. Living for other people, welcome Orlando, Kraken. Living for other people to do things for them is actually my main motivation. Hey. And it's what gives me my greatest pleasure. So I think it's just a case of, for you, that's how you feel, right? And for me, this is how I feel. And I think they don't have to necessarily clash. There are some people who want to give, and there's some people who want to build their own legacy and live their life. We've got a whole generation of people who aren't even thinking about having children because they don't want to spend the money on them.
And this also comes down to, what were your parents like? If you were combative with your parents, or you felt like you were betrayed by your existence growing up and denied of things, and now they're trying to cash a check back on you, I could absolutely go, okay, I get it. I get it.
Absolutely.
Me, you know, I would do anything for my parents, and I know this is going to be a funny one, Bretty. I do paper, scissors, rock with my mum and dad, thinking which one of their asses will I be wiping when the other one's done? You know, because I am going to build a property at the back of mum or dad's house, which doesn't sound like it's really a sacrifice considering they live 200 metres from the beach. But I'll be wiping one of their asses because they refuse to go to a home. And I'm going, well, that ain't really your choice when you start to fall over, etc. But we'll deal with that when it gets to it. But I'll look after them until that point.
And some folks change their mind because they can sometimes even keep a level of dignity by doing that. Because you can retain a level of dignity by, I think your biggest fear is just getting stuck in a home and forgotten about. Don't do that, you know. Always stay in contact with them, teach them how to use technologies. Ryan said if I was born 80 years ago, I'd get a job, work that job, and all of that stuff. But he's saying these days I don't have time to worry about anything else other than how I'm going to survive it. And it is hard for young folk to get ahead nowadays. It is. I mean, the idea of owning property is almost totally gone for you.
Yep. And you know what, Ryan? For everyone that's in your position, I would say consider joining the forces, honestly, because it is the full package.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's not infantry, there are so many other roles. And, you know, if you can't join the forces, consider serving Australia some other way.
Yeah.
You know, there is lots of jobs that are very satisfying and you can give to people that aren't monetarily.
Yep.
You know, look at Aussie player, the paramedic.
Is he here?
No, I was just thinking about him. I mean, he just gives, he gets obviously a financial remuneration for his job, but when you hear him speak about what it feels like in his job to save people or lose people, that's in his heart. You know, he's getting something out of being the one to help them.
We've got an excellent question here, and I noticed it's from Rex, but I didn't realise it until I looked down and saw Wakey saying, "Good question, Rex. Hopefully, I'm answered." I hope it gets answered. So this is a fantastic thing that happens with this community here. Make sure you subscribe right now if you're a lurker, because you know I can't do it all myself, and Laura and I get caught up sometimes, and we drift away from the subject, which is fine as well. Infantry is a competitive role. The reason why I say that is because there's that 10,000 positions, etc. Where are we? Because there's that the 10,000 positions, position numbers, and they're taken up most of the time. When someone leaves, someone goes in, you can get the impression, the interpretation from the military that the line is impossibly long, and it probably was about 2 years ago when we had this channel, when it was disgusting how long some people were waiting, especially when it was based on quotas that were going for different things that weren't about capability. But it's not as long as you think it is. And when you start the process, okay, and you're on the books and you're kicking the goals, you're getting over the hurdles, and you're the one in 2,567 which comes to streams like this and says, this is why I want to go to infantry, or start in infantry, and then like Nicole King, go over and go, okay, now I'm going to do a different corps because my body is start to cease cashing the checks that you're asking me to do.
Yep, or if you know your limits and know yourself and know, I really admire the infantry folk, but I don't know if I can do that, but I'm still going to serve, by golly. I'm going to be part of that machine.
Yeah. Ryan, people join the military also out of security. Go and join the army and say, look, free medical, free dental, subsidised rent, and just don't ever leave. Just stay there. You know, and that can look after you too.
And that's just a personality difference, Ryan. You focus on you, and you must have like a little micro sort of cosmic look at things, or a macro cosmic look at life, and other people have a different perspective. I happen to love building community, you know, and helping communities grow and be big, and that's a legacy of its own, regardless of what my children go on to do. So there's different kinds of legacies.
Do you know what my favourite thing in the world is?
What's that?
My favourite thing in the world is being, where is he? Is being any one of these guys in the middle of the herd, having a sense of humour, sleeping whenever I can, farting and laughing, and being responsible, but also being childish, having fun as an adult, laughing all the time. Danger, it's been around me most of my life. Okay, but being tested and knowing that everyone around there might go, Kaz is a dickhead, but they know I've got their back, and they know I'll finish everything I start. You know, and that's what I love. I love being part of the herd.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what I love? You know what I love?
What's that?
Is when you guys would come home, and I didn't mind doing your washing, and I didn't mind making you something to eat when you got home, because then I would get to share that banter, but without the farting and without the all the other stuff. So, you know, it's like there's things people probably look down on me a lot because I actually loved being a wife. To me, that was like a calling.
Well, it's a fantastic thing. You know, a man needs to know that when he's away, that the home fire is going, that he's got somewhere to come back to, and that can be the kryptonite that can destroy a man overseas. When they can be tough, they can be strong, they can be fit, but if the home fire is not reliable or it can't be trusted, these people absolutely fold. You know, we are the toughest men in the world. You know, from fighting sports, etc. We'll say goodbye to a career because they're scared the campfire is going to go out while they're away. But if you pick a partner right, you know, then the rest of your life can be, I don't understand where all this stress comes from in more people's life. My life is perfect, but I don't know why. And it's because the two givers met each other.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, let's let these people get some sleep. They've been very, very loyal.
I'm so sorry. I was already asleep. I'm so sorry. I just totally ran out of petrol today.
Petrol? I'm a diesel guy.
Yeah. not everyone's vulgar in the military, Rye. Come on now, don't be stereotyping. There's plenty of gentlemen. There's plenty of teetotalers.
You know what it is, Ryan? We realise real quick that political correctness is fake.
Yeah.
Political correctness is faking life.
Yeah.
It's disingenuous. It's forced into people so no one ever truly knows each other, which means no one ever really trusts each other. It's the same way you speak to a school teacher of one of your children. You'll never tell them what you truly think because you know at the end of the day, they can take that out on your child, okay, or something can happen. So you talk in veiled speech where you both smile and talk through the side of your mouth.
Exactly. But not everyone's vulgar. There are some very, very quite even, you really get teetotalers, you get people who don't swear, but you just can't judge the folk who do. You just learn to communicate, whether it's roughly or smoothly. The communication is an exchange of ideas. And if you can get past the way someone says something, you might learn something.
Yep. I've been called the CUNT word by males and females in the army. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
And, look, and the same in the tattoo shop. You learn to, you soon learn to hear in what's being said in between words. Yeah.
Hey, Daniel has crabs. Mate, this is a funny one for you, Daniel. We'll make this the last question. Lauren and I have never met.
Yeah, not in real life. No, we talk a lot.
No. We know a lot of mutual people. We have deep talks about with Lauren's channel, which is Lauren is Shining. She's on 9:30 every single day to 10 o'clock. And we just war game things. She keeps me grounded from the female perspective when I go off the reservation completely before I come onto a stream, so I don't sound vulgar, so I don't offset, but at the same time I can never sacrifice the potential to offend someone if it means that I'm not being true either.
Yeah, exactly. And Kaz brings me right out of my shell. Kaz really, is the whole reason why I have a YouTube channel and why I get on here and talk to you guys and why I sort of do everything I do. And please don't think we don't talk outside of the streams. We do. We talk maybe a few times a day in between sending each other pictures and funny stuff and links and that. So it's not a pretend friendship. I think we've got a really great friendship, Kaz.
Hey, Aussie deplorable. Hillary's in the house. Well, I'm about to go and give Hillary a ring anyway. So I'm going to get going now. Thank you all for who you are, what you are, and what your future is going to be.
Indeed.
Because if you stay with this channel, I'm going to be part of it.
Exactly.
For good or bad.
Yeah, we want to be there for the ups and the downs. Don't be afraid to come in here and tell us if something hasn't worked out. That is community, that is friendship. We're not fair weather friends. We're here for the,
That's it.
When's your next stream, Kaz?
Friday, but I've got a video coming out tomorrow. What time did you want it out? What time do you want the video to come out tomorrow? It's already out. It's just in the members area. I'll leave it up to Nicole King. Okay. Nicole, last question. When would you like it to come out, mate?
Yeah, and I'll be streaming at 10:30 tomorrow morning, guys, because remember I've got Disco Stu coming on and he doesn't get up that early.
An officer that claims to not have a computer. I think that's fake news. See you later, Full Metal Barista. Great to have you here.
Yeah, good night, everyone.
Good night,
Sleep
team.
well.
Is Worn Off Shotgun. Love that name. Brady Cars, great mates who have never met. That's it. Daz, 4 a.m. Can't do, brother. 4 a.m. Nicole King, tomorrow, love. What time tomorrow would you like to see it come on? There's a lot of 4 a.m.s here, man. You want to wake up at 4 a.m. and put it on? Sounds like a song. Who was that? 4 a.m. I must be lonely. Well, we're going to get going now. 4 o'clock, everyone says. 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I keep seeing the 04 instead of 1600. Got it. 4 o'clock it is. 4 o'clock it is. Okay, team. Take it easy. Thanks. Subscribe. Like if you do. Dislike if you don't. But if you don't, make sure you actually put a comment in there too after it renders. Happy with that? See you tomorrow. 4 o'clock. Well, I'm looking after my little girl and whatever she's going to shake me down for. Okay, boys, girls, people, and the one in 2567. Peace out.